I had no idea the British press was so bigoted.
This One's Wife. American Riviera Orchard. Just not happening. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. American Riviera Orchard was launched with an Instagram page, a Duff video, and the opportunity to offer your email address. There was nothing that you could buy. There was no further information about what it was. And as I've explained in parts passim, my PR expert has demonstrated that essentially the patient is dead and should be flung into a shallow grave, that the opportunity to build momentum in relation to this brand has been entirely lost, that there was a chance to do so, and that there were various missteps with regard to its promotion, and as a consequence of that, she has roundly failed with regard to the promotion and marketing of American Riviera Orchard. Since then, we've also had the jam promotion, which has caused much hilarity and provides us with opportunity to continue to ridicule her, which was much of what occurred. She got plenty of publicity, but most of it was laughing at the promotion and how ridiculous it was. And still people scratch their heads and ask, what have lemons got to do with strawberry jam? And still, it hasn't moved forward. It's now over 2 months since she launched American Riviera Orchard. There's no CEO, there's no marketing strategy, there are no products that can be bought, and it really isn't happening. And this view is taken by others. As reported by Riley Sullivan at skynews.com.au, this One's Wife is reportedly struggling to get her new business venture, American Riviera Orchard, up and running due to the poor public response to her line of strawberry jams, an insider has claimed. The Duchess of Sussex launched her lifestyle brand in March via a new Instagram account and sent out 50 jars of strawberry jam to her influencer friends to create buzz. This One's Wife, 42, has filed hundreds of trademark patents for American Riviera Orchard, suggesting the Duchess plans to sell an array of products, including homewares, makeup, fragrance, and dog accessories. However, royal biographer and Sussex critic Angela Levin claimed This One's Wife is upset about the early reception to American Riviera Orchard retirement homes, and the business was not moving forward as expected. Well, as explained in parts passim, you betcha she's upset about this failure, because as I explained at the time, This One's Wife's mindset is this: I am the amazing This One's Wife. If I create it, they will come. Yeah, wouldn't it be a good idea to actually have a properly organised business? No, I'll just announce it and it'll flow from there. How about having some products to sell? Oh, we'll get round to that later. Don't worry about it. Fact is, I'm going to be able to mention American Riviera Orchard. We'll launch it, and there'll be millions of followers. I tell you, millions, because I am loved all around the world. Well, actually, you're not that popular, you know. You regularly come near the bottom of popularity polls. Only Prince Andrew's lower than you. Who? Is that the fellow that carries the Queen's handbag? This One's Wife thought that she would get millions of followers because she's deluded, and her narcissism tells her that she's far more popular than she actually is. This is why she goes everywhere surrounded by this distortion field. In actual fact, the number of followers that she has been dropping. Only slightly, but it has been dropping. I think she got to somewhere in the region of 617,000. It's now dropped down to 615,000, which tells you two things. First of all, for somebody who is globally infamous, picking up way below 1 million followers is piss poor. You compare the followings of other people who perhaps aren't even as well known as her, and they're far superior with regard to the number of Instagram followers that they have. The fact that when she launched that particular Instagram account for American Riviera Orchard, and it failed to get anywhere close to 1 million, and included allegations that she'd bought followers, demonstrates how unpopular she is. Furthermore, the fact that it hasn't grown and in actual fact has gone backwards. That she goes to Nigeria, a country of 200 million people, and doesn't actually add followers, the numbers drop, demonstrates, again, her unpopularity, which she just can't understand. And secondly, the fact that there's no momentum, as was pointed out, which, well, you can see it yourself, can't you, that nothing's happening with it, but moreover, there's nothing else being done to market it, as pointed out by my PR expert. Accordingly, it's just not happening. Levin continues by explaining she's very upset about what is happening with this American Riviera orchard. She is not happy about how it's been received. The jam was a bit of a laughingstock. She sent it off to about 50 friends and only a few replied. Among the criticisms, social media users lampooned this one's wife's decision to label each jam jar 1 through 50, which is typically a technique used for limited edition art prints. Despite sending out the prototype jams to her pals, this one's wife has yet to actually sell anything to the public under her new brand name. Ms. Levin, who worked with Prince Harry on a book prior to his marriage to this one's wife, said the Duchess of Sussex was at a stalemate with how to move forward with the business. Everyone said that she is in a jam. It is not moving forward, she said. She has had a lot of trouble finding a CEO to run it for her, and she is having a lot of trouble finding a chef. Some of them have gone along to see how it is, but they say she is so meticulous about everything. Assertion of control. Thus, it's not looking good. And I noticed, for instance, on one thread, on the subreddit thread of Saint This One's Wife, they use a full name, as you know I do not, somebody asked, do you think that what she intended was basically to create the brand, do nothing more behind it, and then turn to somebody else and say, I've got this brilliant brand, do you want to buy it off me for millions of dollars? Well, it's a possibility, and it certainly wouldn't be beyond the realms of comprehension that this one's wife would be so stupid as to think that she could just create a brand that has never sold anything, that has no financial history, that has no infrastructure, but is just basically a brand associated with her, and that she could sell it to somebody and make millions. Essentially, because it's associated with me, people are going to buy from you, and therefore you're now buying something that's worthwhile. It is entirely possible that someone as deluded and dim-witted as her could do that. But in actual fact, what I think has happened is, because of her failures in other areas, which I've explained in parts passim, she was in Last Chance Saloon in relation to doing something and thought, okay, I'll create a lifestyle brand. And as I've explained previously, she has no talent and she's not prepared to work at it to build up that brand by putting in effort like many other people have done to build their own brands. Years of sustained effort, of being rejected, of pushing themselves, of creating goods or services or content that people actually want until eventually it takes off. As I've explained before, behind every overnight sensation, there's years of graft and hard work, but she's not prepared to put that in because her mindset is, I'm this one's wife, I should have what I want. I'm this one's wife, I should get it straight away. I'm this one's wife, it should be given to me on a silver platter. That mentality has been forged from her narcissism and was influenced by the behaviour of her father, who treated her like a princess during those formative years. That's fused into her mindset, fused by her narcissism, that she's wonderful, talented, brilliant, and that everybody should flock to her and give her what she wants. It creates this rampant sense of entitlement, and in the circumstances means that she thinks that all she need do is turn up somewhere and everything will work. Thus, I'll just create a brand without a CEO, without any infrastructure, without any products to sell. It doesn't matter, because then millions will come, and then I can say to everybody, look at this brand. Millions are interested in, let's go. And the fact is that because the response to it has been so underwhelming, and because her jam promotion failed on two fronts, the vast majority of people didn't publicise that they received it, probably dying of embarrassment, and secondly, it was ridiculed and lampooned. So what has happened is she's thought, I'm going to create American Riviera Orchard. This is going to be brilliant. And what I'll do is I'll also launch it now, because that'll give me a load of attention and take attention away from Prince William in relation to what he's doing. And with the usual cack-handed approach of this one's wife, demonstrating that she isn't actually that much of a schemer or that Machiavellian or that calculated, she rushes the launch in order to overshadow William, and also thinking it's fine because as soon as people realise it's to do with me, they'll come in their millions, and then we'll put everything else in place following on from that. She attempts to overshadow William, launches it, doesn't get anywhere near the level of response that she expected, and therefore, with her usual lack of accountability, with her usual laziness, she doesn't move it forward. She tries the jam scam. That fails. Most of the recipients don't want to admit that they've received it. Most people laugh at what she's doing. They ridicule it and continue to do so. And the consequence of all of this is that it's been a flop, and therefore this one's wife doesn't move it forward. Rather than galvanise, rather than get it organised properly beforehand and launch it and put some hard work in, she just thinks, no. We'll just launch it. Lots of people will come. And when that hasn't happened, her narcissist has basically told her, well, write it off, forget it, leave it be. I would be seriously surprised if anything actually comes of it now. It's gone more than 2 months before she launched it. You still can't buy anything. There's still no infrastructure in place. There's no content being generated in relation to this supposed brand. Perhaps she will surprise us all, and in the sudden weeks, they'll all be products that you can get, and that there is an infrastructure, but there's no noise in that regard. And given her track record of launching things and not following them up, it seems entirely consistent, and given the fact that this launch has flopped, that this is what will happen. That basically she'll lose interest in it because it's not worked, and she'll try and move on to the next thing, which of course won't work. What do you think? Do you think we will actually see a lifestyle brand created? Do you think that there will be overpriced tat soon available to purchase? Or do you think this is it? Do you think she has lost interest, and that's why we're not seeing anything? That's why it's not happening, and do you think it will never happen? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section. I'm HG Tudor. Thank you for listening.